Hi, let me introduce myself and my partner from group number 7. In this opportunity, I would like to present our scientific paper about the impact of pandemic in culture work environment in Indonesia. First, I will explain to you about abstract. COVID-19 is a new type of disease caused by a virus from the coronavirus class. The first case of this disease occurred in the city of Wuhan, China, at the end of December 2019. After that, COVID-19 was transmitted between people fast and spread to dozens of countries, including Indonesia, in just a few months. Its rapid spread has made several countries implement policy to impose lockdown to prevent the coronavirus. In Indonesia, the government has implemented a large scale of social restriction or PSBB policy to suppress the spread of the coronavirus. In response to the global pandemic, the President of the Republic of Indonesia, Joko Widodo, through the conference of the press in Bogor on March 15, 2020, called on the whole society to work, school, and to prevent further spread of the coronavirus. Following the statement of the Ministry of Finance, also began to implement a work-from-home policy, which later became a guideline throughout Indonesia. As a result of the implementation of work from home, of course, adjustments are needed in various sectors of work. Everything is something that requires a face-to-face service has changed into an online service. With the help of these existing technology companies, can get leniency regarding policy in the company in the work of their employees. By employing their employees at home or work from home, the concept of work from home was sparked when the Revolution Industry 4.0 began, where advanced machine and technology with the concept of automation were realized.
Impact of the coronavirus on companies. Companies are required to make some changes to policies regarding the work environment to maintain the social distancing for the workers and the customers. Many people work from home to avoid the coronavirus. Every company that's still doing the activities in the office must apply the safety protocols that has been made by the government. Many people lost their job during this pandemic.
In this second point, I will explain the mechanism of cultural change, which is taken from the same concept. SANE has a total of 10 factors in the mechanism of cultural change. But because our group took a case regarding the impact of the pandemic, there are two factors associated with this case. The first is the concept of changing environmental culture, which in the sense that culture will work best if the organization does not experience too much pressure from the environment. Therefore, companies now inevitably adapt to the conditions that occur to create the best work environment. The second factor is technological advances. Along with the increasingly modern times, companies are required to accept existing technological changes. And an example of the impact on a company's work environment is working from home, where employees do their jobs using existing technology tools. Then another example, usually we have face-to-face meeting, but now it's just virtual face-to-face meeting. In this third point, I will explain the mapping of corporate culture change in Indonesia. This concept was created by Cameron and Quinn. They share four cultural perspectives contained in the company in their competitive value framework. The first is hierarchical culture, whose organizational model is command and control. This culture focuses on internal company issues. Then, the second is market culture, which also values stability and control, but focuses more on external than internal issues. The third is client culture, focuses on internal issues, which is flexibility and wisdom rather than seeking stability and control. The fourth is autocratic culture, which focuses on external issues and values. The values is adaptability and innovation. Therefore, many companies now experience autocratic competitive value, where companies are now required to be able adaptability to existing environment and be innovative every time.
Now we are going to talk about how revolutionized industrial technology can affect cultural work change. First, I want to talk about how it started, which are started since the global pandemic COVID-19 hits every world and creating new rules or maybe demanding new rules to be stated by every government around the world to implement social distancing such as PSBB to decrease any physical contact we have with one another. Those then uh, those then affected how people like students and maybe workers to do their work, which are asked by the government to start doing their work from home. Since the work from home has been implemented by every people around the world, there has been a lot of changes that currently in Indonesia are uh, extravagantly are increasing our revolutionized industry 4.0, which creates us a more effectivity and efficiency on doing our work. A lot of benefit that we are getting from it, such as efficiency in communicating with people. Like right now, we are using Zoom meetings, Google Meet, and maybe Discord to communicate with a lot of people to maybe our meetings where people some usually before this global pandemic happens have their own meetings in their own workspace or maybe in a co-working space or maybe in cafe or a lot of other place. Now we people are using online media conference meeting to communicate with one another to discuss a lot of things like projects and maybe business plan and a lot more. Other things we are having to be adjusted to is where people are moving to uh, financial technology e-wallet to have their own transaction. Several bank accounts that we are using right now, such as Genius Card or GoPay or OFO, are used by people to do transaction on e-commerce or maybe sending money to someone or their partner in work via online. The registration is also very different from what we used to do. A lot of people sometimes do to create their own bank account to their booth maybe or maybe their workspace or their office. Now people can create their own bank account without going to their booth or maybe their office and etc. People can do this or register their own bank account via online and with their customer service. Therefore, they can have their own time efficiency, which they didn't have to meet their uh, customer service in their own space, which can take a lot of time. And there is with online conference to create their own bank account. From this, we leads to our conclusion. We are getting those analytics above from the chapter 10 of our book, and uh, we are correlating this with Edgar Henry Schein's work, which said that a company should be fast on colliding with this environment that we are facing and this global pandemic, such as COVID-19, that we are facing right now, which every company should do, which they have to be coping with every changes, such as culture and working space that are very affected by the environment, and company can has to do it right. Therefore, our analytics show that Indonesia are facing this COVID-19 pandemic, fighting it with our Industrial Revolution 4.0. That's it from our group number 7. Thank you for listening.